Welcome back to KRT, episode number 15. Really appreciate you joining us. Remember, you can find the links and clips to all our episodes across our social media platforms. Search at BUnites. Today, we're talking to a coach for the first time all year. The reigning MAC Coach of the Year, field hockey head coach, Devanny Boisvert. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Really appreciate you joining us. Well, I guess technically you're not the first coach we've talked to. We talked to Harold Davis, the new sprint football head coach, a couple of months ago, I think. And yeah, but that's a new sport. It technically hasn't fully started yet. So You're the first established coach that we have here that made it on the pod.
All right. Excited to be the first one.
Yeah. While all the athletes are off doing their thing in the summer, coaches are still around doing their thing here. So we'll have plenty of you guys on.
Good.
So what are you up to right now?
So now that the semester is kind of dying down, I've been coaching camps the past 2 weekends, which has been great just to not only coach, but then also get to see some high school players and everything. So I've been coaching camps. We have a couple clinics that we're going to be running in camps here at Bellarmine, and then I'll be on the road for some weekends recruiting.
All right. Well, you've got your own camp coming up in July. We'll talk about that a little bit down the road.
Okay.
But I'm curious. Let's just go back to the beginning here. Field hockey isn't the most popular thing to get into as a kid, especially around here. So, what drew you to it?
So I've always been into sports. So my parents just kind of got us into sports at an early age. My brother played sports as well. I was more of a soccer basketball player. And then field hockey kind of started becoming a little bit more popular. So at my grade school, it started at 5th grade. And I jumped right into it and just loved it. It was competitive. It was fast. I loved scoring goals. And so I got really into it. And then when I was kind of before high school, I was kind of deciding which sport I wanted to play. I actually tried out for a club soccer team and went to the first tryout, and I was like, this isn't for me. So I was just a little bit better at field hockey. So then I went to Sacred Heart and tried out for the team, and it's been part of my life ever since.
Awesome. So you said basketball and soccer were kind of the other two sports you were really interested in?
Yeah, and I love basketball. Actually, 2 of our players on our team are always out in Knights Hall playing basketball. Sometimes I'll get out there too and play. So honestly, that's one thing I regret. I did not play basketball in high school because I really, really loved it.
Yeah, but you threw yourself into field hockey, and that's also the way you got to do things sometimes. Just go 100% all in.
Yeah, especially with club, traveling year round, and even to be recruited, you have to play year round to kind of, be in it.
So what's your best trait in basketball? What player are you?
I'm a defense. Okay. I'm a good defender. I box out. I rebound. I have my hands up. I'm a pretty good defender.
Got to talk to I don't know if this is allowed. Talk to Chance Dugan about getting out there and practicing.
That's right. She's been watching me. She's pretty impressed. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the jump shot like though?
I'm okay. I'm more of a drive the lane, layup kind of player. I'm not a really good jump shotter.
Well, people don't always know that when they play basketball, and people who can't shoot try to shoot threes because they like to.
Yes. I know my flaws and I know my strengths.
You know what type of player you are.
Right.
So back to field hockey, was it hard to pick up the rules at first? Because for newcomers just watching the sport, there's some funky ones.
Yeah. I think at first, maybe because it was a little bit newer, of kind of a newer sport. But yeah, once you kind of get the hang of it and you're playing it for so long, you just really understand the rules, and you just know if it hits your foot or if you have a stick hack, you drop and you get back, and you just kind of get the hang of all the rules, and the rules are always changing too.
Yeah.
So you got to learn those quicker. I know when I was in college, the self-start was added. So it used to be in a free hit, you could not self-start the ball. It just had to be an immediate pass. And so that was kind of a rule that we had to kind of learn while we were in college. But it really sped up the game, which we all really loved.
Right. And do you think for maybe the non-major sports like field hockey is that it's easier to change the rules for those, or it doesn't really make a difference?
Yeah, I think it's easier because they're always trying to improve the game and try to make it faster and easier for the players.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely helps.
Like, I feel like a rule change in a basketball, football, baseball, the three dominant sports in America, would be almost impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we're used to it and we can adjust pretty quickly.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So why is field hockey an East Coast thing? Because that seems to be the case.
Yeah, so there's so many club teams out there. There's a lot of the high school. I mean, majority of high schools actually have it. And yeah, in the Midwest, it's kind of in just pocket areas where it's just not as prominent. So like here in Louisville, it's just really in Louisville and Oldham County,
right,
and not really outside. So our goal, a lot of the coaches here kind of in the Midwest and specifically in Kentucky, we're trying to grow it a little bit more. So we do have through USA Field Hockey, we have a committee that's trying to grow the sport, keep it in high schools, start at a young age. But yeah, it's definitely just more of a East Coast sport. I think there's a lot more tournaments there. And again, there's just more club teams, and the high school teams just seems to, they all have it.
Yeah, Louisville's a really unique pocket here. I'm from Indianapolis, and I can't tell you a single person who plays field hockey up there.
Yeah.
But obviously being here now, like hearing about the field hockey community, it sounds like a little oasis in the middle of the Midwest.
Yeah, so I went to Ball State, and which obviously you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the students there didn't really even realize what field hockey was because the majority of the students are from Indiana. And so yeah, they didn't even really know we were an NCAA sport.
Right. But that's growing and that's changing thanks to people like you and others here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So when did you realize, all right, like, I'm really good at this? I know you talked about just kind of getting integrated, but when did you realize I could play in college and be a coach?
Yeah, so my journey into college was a little bit different. I was really late in the game. I honestly didn't know if I wanted to play collegiate field hockey, and if I did, what level I wanted to play at. So I actually even looked at Bellarmine, looked to see if I wanted to come here. And then after it was my senior year, I went to a tournament over Thanksgiving break and got to see a lot of different coaches at the tournament. And Ball State actually was there, and they told me that they had been trying to recruit me since my sophomore year. And I think I just kept throwing away their letters, or I didn't respond to their emails. And so I decided to go to Ball State. It was it was February of my senior year, so I was really, really late in the process, but thankfully they picked me up, and so happy that I went there. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy that this is now my career when it was something that I was kind of juggling if really I wanted to do it and how much I wanted it to be involved in my life. But it really was such an important aspect of my high school career, and I knew I wanted it to be a big part of my college career. So I was so happy that I ended up playing.
When does a player normally get recruited and commit?
So I would say around your junior year, you're really having those conversations with the coaches, and typically most of them will commit before their senior year. So yeah, so I was really, really late compared. So I always have kind of a soft spot for those recruits that are maybe a little bit late in the game because that was me.
Well, yeah, you can find diamonds in the rough like yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just varies by sport. You know, you hear about softball and baseball where they're being recruited as 8th graders and freshmen, which is absolutely bonkers to me. But the being recruited as a junior part seems almost like the median or the average.
Yeah, so we can have them at camps and see them at clinics and stuff, but we aren't allowed to have phone conversations or email exchanges until June 15th of their going into their junior year. So yeah, so it's a little bit late, but I like it because we're able to kind of really see them progress through their high school years and everything.
So when you became a head coach for the first time, what was the biggest adjustment for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest adjustment is I was an assistant for 5 seasons prior. So yeah, I moved a seat over to become the head coach, and I had to learn a lot, and it's just definitely an adjustment, especially with how the players look at you. Just being the person that's more in charge and the person kind of a little bit harder on the team. I think that's just, just a little adjustment for myself, but then also the players as well.
Right. And I think I know what a lot of people would say to this question is just be yourself. But like, how do you gain the respect of the players when you're first coming in?
Yeah, I think it was interesting too. When I first started at Bellarmine, I was 23, 24. So I was fairly young, and some of the seniors were, close to my age. And I think they respected me because of the knowledge that I brought to the team, and that kind of started the respect. And then they got to know me, and then, I think I brought a lot to the program when I first started. And so, and then I think that that respect continued. And, we have some great players on our team, and I think the respect is just mutual between me and them. And we try to bring those type of players into the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So knowing your journey that we just talked about, what did it mean to you when you were named MAC Coach of the Year just a few months ago?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think it just says a lot about the MAC, for one, that the coaches saw our improvement from the spring of 2021 to the fall of 2021. So that was really, really cool. Just huge, just a lot of respect for all those MAC coaches, just for them to appreciate and know our progression at the Division I level. I honestly, I was just shocked to say the least. I couldn't believe it. And I think it just shows a lot about our program and the work that our players put in, that we did get that recognition. So it was really, really cool. And I was very humbled by it. But just happy for the recognition of the program.
Very coach answer right there. The other coaches in the MAC, they're so nice. There had to be some level of like personal gratification, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think since I played in the MAC and I had that experience, I think that was really, really cool. Just like my history with the MAC, just having that recognition. And then also like our first year in the MAC, like, I mean, that's just huge. It's huge.
Yeah, it is. Well, some people, like when they earn a doctorate, they want to be called doctor. I'm just going to start calling you MAC Coach of the Year, Devanny Boisvert. How you doing?
Oh, gosh, I may not answer.
Right. Yeah, that's a little much. But no, I mean, that's so cool. And again, congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Now, what's the better award? MAC Coach of the Year or Miss Field Hockey in the state of Kentucky?
Wow. They were both, honestly, like both of them I was so shocked by. And I just couldn't believe it. So, and I think like at that time in my life when I was in high school, sometimes I just I believe in myself and I'm confident in myself, but I'm just like, oh wow, like people think of me in that way.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I get a little bit shocked and I'm humbled by it. So both I think equally gratifying and equally just happy that people just see the success of our program.
So it's the approach of like, all right, I'm just going to kind of chug along and do my thing, and I believe like I'm going to have success. But when that does happen, like, oh wow, like I never really thought about that because it's not even on my radar.
Right, exactly. And I think the cool part is it was a lot of firsts. So like that was the first Miss Field Hockey ever. So that was neat.
Yeah.
And then just the first year that we're in the MAC, that's really cool too. So so both just were just great periods in my life that really just, just set me up for success. Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to tell the kids, the relatives one day, like, hey, Mom was Miss Field Hockey and, right. MAC Coach of the Year.
I'm sure my husband will be the one that will definitely brag on Mom.
Right. As he should. So after the team's first year in D1, what was your biggest takeaway after that year and focus going into this past season?
Yeah, so our big focus was how we could close the gap. So in the spring of 2021, we played all the MAC teams, but weren't technically in the MAC. Mm-hmm. So we knew what we could do against those teams. So our whole goal for this past fall was how we could close the gap. So smaller goal differential, the games that we were really close in, how can we actually win those games? And every single game this past fall, it was a smaller goal differential, and the games that were really close, we actually won. So I think that was really, really cool. For next season, I'm wanting us to just be consistent, because at the end of the season, we kind of really got into a rhythm. We started gaining the confidence that we can compete at this level. So I'm excited to kind of see just our consistency from the beginning of the season all the way to the end.
So outside of gaining confidence, what did you do to make that stuff happen?
So first season in the spring, we actually tried to just celebrate every small win. So we had goals for the team, like how many times can we get into the attacking circle? How many corners can we get? How many times do we repossess the ball? And we really kept track of that and gave the team goals. And every time we hit those goals, we celebrated them. Even if we would lose a game, we would celebrate those wins. And I think for the players, like, they just had to see they could do it. So, like, our big turning point this past season was our overtime loss against Ohio. We were up 4-1 at halftime and ended up losing 5-4 in overtime. And that was, like, the turning point, because they saw, like, they were this close to winning, and they saw they were dominant and they could compete at this level. So it's honestly, like, I can give them all the confidence that they need and want, but it's honestly like them going out and doing it and seeing that they can win and be successful.
So those goals you were talking about, did you get that from past experience from yourself, or was that like a new idea that you and the coaches came up with?
Yeah, so it kind of saw it at a convention that they did it. Another team did, and then also talking with Pam Stackhouse, we kind of collaborated on it, and she kind of gave me her recommendations on how to, celebrate the little wins in our first season at Division I, because it is a big jump going from D2 to D1, and it's a faster game in field hockey. So we just made sure that we were celebrating them, and because it was a weird year. It was COVID, and it things didn't go according to plan, and so we really just tried to make it just a good experience for them that first year.
I'm sure it depends on the personality of each coach, but it seems like the administration, their task is like to keep the coaches reminded of the fact that, hey, it's okay if you lose some games right now, because it is a big transition. So I'm sure it's hard for you guys because you're so competitive and want to win. With that transition.
Yes, we want to have we have high expectations for ourselves and our team, and I think Pam and I always talk about, like, Pam's like my coach, and so I'm the coach to my players, but she's my coach. So, like, the times that, like, I may be frustrated that we're losing, she's my person to kind of go talk to kind of talk me off the ledge, or like give me goals and set me down a path that I'm going to be in a good headspace for my players.
Right. No, that makes total sense. And we've talked about that with a few different programs, but you don't really see that side of it, like, from the outside, that, there is that collaboration. And I think that's really cool. Yep. So we're both Ball State alums. Yep. You mentioned that.
Chirp, chirp.
Yeah. Chirp. Hey, chirp, chirp, always in the blood right now. It's swords up, like, period. Right. But was it a little bit sweeter beating Ball State twice, knowing that you played there?
Yeah, I don't know why my team gets so motivated to play them. But yeah, it was awesome. It was just great to have that first win. The spring season was a long season. Yeah. So to play Ball State in that first game in August and actually win, that was just thrilling, and we acted like we won the national championship. It was just fun just to get that one win under our belt, because I really think it kind of set the stage for our season.
Yeah, it did. And you guys had every single right to celebrate like you won the national championship, knowing what you had been through the previous year, the giant transition. Like, it's okay to celebrate things like that. And I think people miss that sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
How was Breanna Quarter so good?
She is just quick. She makes really good decisions in the cage. I mean, people underestimate her because she's a shorter goalie. Yeah. But she's just so fast. I mean, she's fast with her hands. She's fast with her feet. And she's just a good leader back there. And that's what you need from your goalkeeper, is someone that's vocal, someone that's going to direct the defense. And she was just so positive. And we worked on that a lot going into the first season at Division I. There'd be some times at practice that, and more in the spring right before COVID hit, and I would just say, don't put your pads on. Let's just sit here and talk. And let's talk about, you get 2 quick goals scored on you. How are you going to act? What are you going to be saying to your team? Because the goalie is such a mental position, and you got to be really tough back there, because you may blame yourself for goals, and obviously it takes the entire team. But she really worked on that mental game as well, which I think just helped her the past 2 seasons. But yeah, she did fabulous for us, and it was just really cool for her to get all that recognition throughout season, and then also at the end of the season as well.
That's really interesting, just like verbalizing what your mindset is going to be, because, I mean, you can't really know how you're going to react until you're in that situation, but the closest thing to practicing a mindset is just talking about it, right?
Yep. Situational things, we do that a lot. I mean, not only with like our leadership group, but like positions like Bree, you got to put yourself in a situation to see how you're going to react or what you're going to do, because that's just making you, just a better person, a better player for your team.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, Bree, awesome year. Is there anyone next year who you think they might be able to break out?
Yeah. I think we're returning a lot. We only have, so we'll be losing Bree and Cassidy Sweeney. We'll be returning the majority of our team. Hannah Brown in the backfield did fabulous for us this past year. T and Julia Dornabos did awesome for us kind of in the center mid position, and they worked so well together. And then, our forward line is going to have a lot of experience next year. I mean, with Amber Huffing-Drimbo kind of leading the charge of, she was second team All-MAC, and, Anna Crump's up there with her. And, I think a lot of our freshmen got a lot of experience this past year. And then I think even our incoming players will just kind of, be able to support what we already have here. And, so I think just the future is bright for Bellarmine Field Hockey.
Yeah, it seems like it. So we talked about the focus and the goals going from year 1 to year 2. Is that slightly shifted year 2 to year 3?
Yeah, kind of like what I said earlier. I just want to be more consistent, and I think we can get some wins at the beginning of the season. And I think that, again, that would just like set our season up a little bit more for success. I think, I like to see us a little bit more attacking, scoring more goals. Some more shutouts. I mean, we only had 1 shutout this past year, and so I think that those are doable goals that our team can accomplish.
Yeah. So I'm a recruit right now. We talk about the future is bright for Bellarmine Field Hockey. Mm-hmm. Why should I come play for you?
So I think the cool thing when you come here, you're building a foundation. And I think that's again, like there's going to be certain recruits that kind of, this is the niche for them. Mm-hmm. But I think the cool part is seeing the foundation. When you come here, it's going to be a lot of firsts. So like our team this past year, it was the first win, the first shutout, the largest goal scored in our last game against St. Francis.
Yeah.
So like in a couple years, or maybe even next year, it'll be our first time competing in the MAC tournament, the first time winning a MAC tournament. And so like that's the cool part. It's just there's a lot of firsts that you're going to be a part of, and then just kind of seeing the team and the program transition and kind of see us continue to climb the ranks in the MAC.
Yeah, hey, you sold me. So
all right, good
job, well done.
Let's get the national letter of intent signed.
Right. No, I would not be a good field hockey player. I can tell you that much. So let's talk about camp. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. That's coming out in July. Just posted a release on it. So July 21st through the 22nd is the high school camp. Yep,
high school. It's going to be all day camp from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll provide lunch. Our players and then my coaching staff will be coaching throughout the day. We'll do some skill development along with more tactical play like towards the end. So it's a really good camp. I'm excited to change it a little bit where it'll be a full day. In the past couple of years, we've just done half days. But excited to kind of have more of the high school players on campus for like all day. We may do like a campus tour around campus so they can see Bellarmine and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the middle school camp is before that, 18th through the 20th.
Yes, correct. And then that's a half day from 9 a.m. to noon. And we have a lot of, again, like the community in Louisville is great just with supporting Bellarmine. And so we get a lot of the local kids, and we even have teams come and sign up as well. So it can be more of like a team camp too. What's
your favorite part of camp?
Oh, gosh. I like at the end when they're like scrimmaging, and since we have a lot of teams come in, like we have like the team scrimmage, but then we kind of have like a future nights team. So a lot of times it's like our recruits that we're kind of looking at. So it's just fun to kind of see them compete against one another. And then the other thing I love is just the interactions between our current players and the recruits, because they start building kind of that relationship when they come to camp.
Yeah. So outside of the summer or outside of camp, what do you have going on this summer?
Yep. So right now I'm coaching for USA Field Hockey Nexus. They have a selection camp in a few weeks that I'll go to, along with they have a tournament towards the middle of the summer. So I'll go out to Virginia Beach a little bit to recruit out there. And then I'll do some regional recruiting tournaments as well. And then hopefully go on vacation and relax a little bit too.
Yeah. Any ideas for vacation?
Yes. I think we're planning on going to Destin for a week. Yeah. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Destin's always a good time.
Yeah. We love Destin.
Are you going to the Derby this weekend?
I am not. We are having our first inaugural Derby party at our house. My husband wanted to throw one.
Yeah.
So we are doing that. We are going to go out to Thurby and enjoy that. I've never kind of experienced, I think we have tickets to the Turf Club. So it'll be fun to kind of experience that side of the track and everything.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I'm from Indy. So like Indy 500 is the thing there.
Oh, yeah.
It's very similar in its own way. But I laughed out loud when people called it Thurby. Like, that's hilarious. And apparently it's the popular thing now because Oaks Day has gotten so big.
Yep. Now it's kind of like shifted. That's like more like the local day.
Right.
And then I did go out to Dawn at the Downs on Monday morning for breakfast. So that was really, really cool. So yeah, so I'm kind of getting into the Derby spirit this week.
Are you going to wear the fancy hats and dress up at your party?
I think it'll be more casual.
Okay.
Yeah, more casual. I'll dress up on for Thurby.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
See Coach Boisvert out at Thurby on this Thursday. Coach, thank you so much for the time, and good luck with everything you got coming up this summer.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Field hockey head coach Devanny Boisvert, the reigning MAC Coach of the Year. KRT episode 15 is done. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on social media at BU Nights to hear from Dev and all of our other guests this summer. I'm Jack Kaiser, and Swords Up.